Good evening. Good evening,
Good
everyone.
evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for your presence, Ms. Sushma, Mr. Vittal,
Good evening,
Wilchang,
ma'am.
yes, Mr. Shankar and
Good
Ravish.
evening, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. So it's a great evening and welcome to this workshop today, because today we discuss the people generally make the mistakes and they have a different angle when they speak. The word is there. Communication makes you, communication breaks you. Sometimes, if you really don't speak well, then surely it is the wrong repercussions happens. It's a different kind of repercussions happens, which you cannot handle it. Sometimes communication is miscommunication. Sometimes you really don't understand that how do you deal with others. That's why our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has a great quality of communication, whereas other people really learn this talent of him, that how nicely he communicates with others. He is a powerful leader because he has a great communication skill. Many times it happens like this. We really don't understand that how do we deal with others when we are into the trouble? Or suppose that I really feel angry, or I don't know that how to deal with others. At that time, I just abuse to somebody's, or I just scold to someone. So that is again the wrong communications. Ladies and gentlemen, in this evening, today, our speaker of the day will speak about that how nicely you communicate with others. It is not only that the explanations, it is all about the techniques which he about to share with us, and he wants to speak to us regarding that how you deal with others whenever you face the challenges, or certain times when you are not in your control. So how do you communicate at that particular times? Communications is the power of your skill, because if you have thousands of the skill, but if you don't have the communication skills, that means you cannot stand anywhere. It gives you the power. So ladies and gentlemen, in this evening, we welcome to our speaker of the day, where he would share all the details to you. So I just wanted to know that, are you excited, my dear friends? If yes, then only type chat box in the chat sections Y. Only type in the chat sections Y. Yes, Ravish is yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everyone, please do type yes in the chat section. Thank you. Thank you so much. Fantastic. So now, without further ado, I just welcome speaker of the day. He is none other than only one, a great communicator, a speaker who knows that how to deal with others, who knows the marketing talent. He is only one magnificent speaker of the English Times. His name is Mr. Arindam Saha. Welcome with the full gratitude of Mr. Arindam Shah. Welcome, Mr. Arindam, on the stage. Thank you so much that you have really showed your quality to us for this workshop, because this topic is very important for everyone, including me as well. So I just would request to you, please take your mic and just pick what exactly you want to share with us. Thank you and welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Ms. Anita, for such a delightful and a wonderful introduction. And I would like to welcome all the lovely participants individually. I would like to personally welcome Mr. Shankar, Ravish, Shubham, Ms. Sushma, Trisha, Mr. Vittal, and Mr. Wilson. Congratulations. Pat your back.
Good evening, sir.
Very good.
Good evening, sir.
Very good.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Very good evening to all the lovely participants. Please pat your back that you have decided to come and showcase you have decided to come and invest your time upon learning. And I am literally glad to present this topic for the very first time on this English Times platform, something that I struggled a lot. I still do, of course. But then I thought of creating a content around it. So I hope you are excited. So without any further ado, let's go and see how we can be an effective communicator. And we are going to touch upon the first aspect of communication, as it's going to be a series of workshops. So try to attend all the upcoming workshops. And if you decide to stay till the end, there are going to be certain bonuses, but the bonus is only going to be given to the attendees, only going to be given to the people who are going to stay till the end. So let's get started. Let's see, and let's make the best out of this workshop. So here it begins. I would like to welcome all of you once again, and let's begin the show. Let's begin the show. So I would like to ask one question. Speaking fluently in English, how many of you think that speaking fluently in English is important? Please type I in the chat section. If you feel that speaking fluently in English is really important, how many of you do feel? And I'm getting some great responses. Thank you so much for your active participation. I am loving the energy. I want all of you to be in the energetic mode and not in the passive one. All of you should participate. Wonderful. Of course, we understand speaking fluently in English is important. But what are your thoughts on communication? Do you think communication is important? Do you think that English is important, but communication is also important? And what's the difference between speaking and communication? And that is something that I'm going to touch upon today. And I can see that Miss Anita says, yes, yes, it is important. What about all the other members? What is communication? Communication is something which is preventing you from getting the life, getting the desired life and lifestyle that you want. So let's understand communication through a story of person A. Person A says that I can speak fluently in English. Besides, I can use effective words as well. However, I do not feel confident about myself. I can speak in English. I can use words, but I do not feel confident about myself. The person says, I do not get appreciation from management. I work so hard, but still I do not get appreciation from the management. Sometimes I put in a lot of efforts, but someone else takes my credit. I don't know where I am going wrong. I communicate with my client, but still I work hard and someone else takes my credit. I speak to my client, but I'm not sure they can relate to me or not. I speak to my client, I share all the important and relevant information, but I'm not sure whether they get it or not. This person says, I know what to speak, but my mind goes blank when I need to speak. Person says, every time I go for interview, my heart beats faster. I get choked up, my throat gets dry, and I sweat. And I sweat not because of the temperature or because of the summer, but because I don't know, I feel nervous. I do not speak in meetings because I feel that I can be laughed at. People are going to mock me if I speak. If I speak something wrong, I may lose the conversation, and God knows I may lose my credibility. The person A says, I cannot go to my boss and ask confidently about a pay rise, though I'm technically qualified. I am technically qualified, but I don't know what happens when I have to go to my boss. I cannot ask for a fair raise as per industry standards. Do you think that is that somehow you can connect with this person A? Do you feel that this person A has the qualities that somehow you can resonate with? Do you feel that this person A is you? Please type I in the chat section if you feel that somehow your story is quite similar to person A. Wow, superb. I'm getting good responses. What about others? Yes. Somehow this person A is quite relatable to us. I remember all the participants who are in this workshop, somehow these are the points which I have received from you. This person A is not any fictitious character. It is you and I. We know our potential. We can speak in English, but still we cannot achieve. We are not able to figure out what's going wrong. What is something that we need to work upon? And here I would like to give you a picture. Let's understand this with the help of an example. So we can see that these are some deflated balloons with nothing inside of them. And these are colorful balloons. However, no matter how good the color is, the balloon is not going to fly. Now, can anyone tell me why these balloons are not going to fly? It's a very generic question. So please answer through chat. Why do you think that these balloons are not going to fly? It's a question. Why do you think that no air? Well done, Mr. Ravish. Wonderful. Wonderful. Because there is no air, there is no gas, of course. It's quite normal. So if somehow I fill these balloons with gas, then definitely they are going to fly. Now imagine these colorful balloons are nothing but the kind of English, the kind of vocabulary, the kind of words that you use. But without communication skill, which is air, this air, the blow, you cannot fly high in your career. You can speak English in a different genre. You can speak English, but still you cannot achieve the growth because the air somehow is missing. The air is not, the air is nothing but your communication skills, where you talk about confidence, where you talk about body language, where you talk about how people perceive you and how you respond to them. And we need to understand that we do not speak to people. We do not speak to people. We do speak to people with hearts and emotions. Let me repeat once again, we do not speak to people. We do speak to people who have hearts and emotions. So if you over rely upon your tongue, then definitely you can connect. You cannot connect with the other person. You need to involve your heart and emotion in your speech. And that is the only thing that can help you becoming the best communicator. It is something that you need to understand. And that's why there is a famous quotation by my role model, Tony Robbins, who says, everybody speaks of presenting. Everybody speaks of presenting yourself. I do say, present your best self. Do not present yourself. Present your best self by showing empathy, by showing compassion. When you speak, by showing the energy, you can see that I'm communicating with all of you with energy today. Imagine if I do not bring in this energy, even you are also going to feel dull, isn't it? So do not focus on presenting yourself, focus on presenting your best self. So as I have mentioned, it is going to be a series of communication excerpts. So today I have decided to speak on something that is a very important topic of communication and something that is literally going to help you a lot if you practice. And that is how to respond when someone is rude to you. How to respond when someone is rude to you in our company, in our organization. We come across managers, bosses, sometimes clients. They are rude to us and we do feel bad. Quite often it happens that the customer connects with you and customer says anything. Customer mocks you down. Customer says that guess what? Your product is not good. You are not good. Your company is not good. You are a scammer. You take the money but do not give service. In company, in organization, the management says, come on, we pay you a lot. What are you doing? We are expecting so much, but you are not giving your best self. Every single day we come across the colleagues, people, and of course, people who do we stay with, our family. They speak to us, but we do not know how to respond to that situation. And then at that point of time, we feel that how can I be wrong? Sometimes people feel, how can I be wrong? I know everything. You cannot teach me anything. And I do feel pity. I do really feel pity of people who do think like this, that they know everything. But you may come across these kind of people who are going to be rude to you because they feel they know everything, like your manager, like your boss, like your colleagues, like people around you, your neighbors, your friends, maybe. And when someone says bad, you feel that why is he behaving like this? And at that point of time, we get also angry and we just lose our temperament, and it ends up in the fighting, in the verbal confabulation. Sometimes people leave their organization because of the tumultuous fight that they have had with the management. Sometimes because we cannot control our emotions, we lose some of the good projects. And guess what? We feel that I think I have to work upon my English. That's why I am not getting that. Definitely you have to work upon English, no doubt. But you also need to understand the nuances of public speaking, communication skills. And that's what we are going to understand. So let's understand how to respond to someone when that person is rude to you. And I do request all of you to please keep a notebook and pen, because I'm going to share certain phrases that you can use to respond to people by English Times. So the first method, the first phrase in English, which you can use when someone is rude to you is a comeback. What is a comeback? It's a vocabulary as per Wikipedia. Encyclopedia, it says a comeback is a quick, clever reply we can give in reaction or response to a rude comment. When someone passes on the comment that is quite provocative, and you feel that, you just feel that, let me punch this person or let me react. That is called a comeback. So when you give a quick reply to someone who is rude to you, how can you control that situation? Let's understand this with the help of certain phrases. So when someone is rude to you next time, this is the phrase that you can use instead of saying, what? How dare you say it to me? You do not have the right. Please lower down your voice. You do not have the authority to talk to me like that. Instead of talking like that, you can use this phrase, which is, wow, that's a great attitude. Wow, that's a great attitude. Let me take a volunteer. So I'm taking Miss Anita as a volunteer. So imagine I'm talking to Miss Anita and she gets angry, and with her rage voice, she blurts out something. And instead of reacting to her, I can say, with a smile on my face, maintaining my calm, not raising my BP. Wow, that's a great attitude. What happened? As soon as you say, wow, that's a great attitude, where do you learn that? Or what happened? If you notice, while using this phrase, I have lowered down my voice. I have lowered my pitch. Instead of saying, how dare you? If you say, wow, that's a great attitude with a smile. Imagine a kid comes to you and speaks to you with a rude. You can simply say, wow, that's a great attitude. Where do you learn this from? You can talk to your kid like that. Wow, that's a great attitude. Where do you learn this? When you speak like that, you take the control out of others' hand. The other person certainly gets into a different zone because that person was expecting a reaction from you and you gave a positive smile. Wow, that's a great attitude. That is the first phrase that you can use to control, to take a control of your temperament. You can also say to that person, if that person is agitated and speaks rudely to you, you can say, are you having a bad day? What makes you say those things? Would you need some help? Imagine Miss Sushma, she's really angry. She comes into the class and she blurts out that what? You have shared the link 5 minutes late. Don't you value the time? To which I do say, are you having a bad day, Miss Sushma? What makes you say those things? Would you need some help? What do you think? What's going to happen? Automatically, Miss Sushma is going to calm down. And that will help me to help her out. And that will help you as well to help that person out in a better way. An amazing way to take the charge of the communication from the other person. Please write down all these phrases if possible, because it's going to help you a lot. And or else you can also take the screenshot. Yes. Let's see that the person is rude to you. The person wants you to say something. The person is really angry using abusive words. Normally, people just fight back. However, you can say, I wish I had a funny comeback for that, but I don't. I wish I had a funny comeback for that, but I don't. Imagine Mr. Ravish. He gets angry and he says, Arindam, you do not know how to teach. Your teaching style is literally poor. And instead of getting angry at him, I would say, I wish I had a funny comeback for that, but I don't, with a smile. Because I know that at that point of time, if I say something to Mr. Ravish, fight is going to get broke. Imagine my sister coming to me. She is already filled up, angry, ready to burst out. And she says negative things to me, to which I can say with a smile, I wish I had a funny comeback for that, but I don't know. It simply means I wish I could have responded to you, but I don't want to. When you say like that, you calm down your nerves. The other person calm down his or her nerves, and you reach to a good solution. How do you find it? Don't you think these phrases are interesting? Please type I in the chat section if you feel, yes, Arindam, we have never thought about this. It is an interesting, of course. Thank you so much. I can see the participants writing I in the chat. Please keep a note of all of these phrases. And I do request all of you to be an active participant in the chat. That will encourage me to give you more That's the trailer. It's just the beginning. That is all about comeback, a comeback. How do you respond when someone is literally angry at you? You can use these three phrases to take a control of the situation. Let's go to number 2, how you can take. Yes, of course, Miss Anita, we have to learn the same attitude. True. Second point, let's understand. The next phrase is caught off guard. One of my favorites. Please keep a note of it. Caught off guard. What do we mean by caught off guard? When we are surprised or when something completely unexpected happens and we don't know how to react. People sometimes say surprised, but caught off means when you are surprised and you do not know how to respond. You can use this phrase to take a control of the conversation. For example, your boss says to you, you prepare day in, day out, and you finally submit the presentation at your company, and your manager says, I didn't like your presentation. Your manager is quite ruthless, quite reckless, and with an agitation, the manager says, I didn't like your presentation. Normally what happens? We feel bad, or we speak bad about that manager to our colleagues, subordinates. I do encourage you not to do that, but to use the phrase. You can say, I had put in a lot of effort. However, this comment just caught me off guard. Sir or ma'am, I had put in a lot of effort. However, this comment just caught me off guard. I was not expecting this feedback from you, but I just caught me off guard. I don't know how to react to you. When you say like that, the manager starts feeling bad that he or she shouldn't have said to you like that. Instead of saying, sir, I have literally worked hard on it. How can you say like that to me? You have not given proper information, but still I worked hard and prepared the presentation, and this is what you give to me? I am giving my resignation. Instead of that, I had put in a lot of effort. However, this comment just caught me off guard. In case if you are rude to someone, if you are angry and you speak recklessly to somebody, but then you realize that I have said wrong, you can say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and you should be genuinely sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to catch you off guard with that remark. I'm literally sorry. I didn't mean to catch you off guard with that remark. When you say like that, the other person accepts you're sorry, and guess what? It makes you a brilliant communicator and it saves relationships. An amazing phrase to use, caught off guard. Number 3, I hope you are keeping a note of everything that I am proposing to you. Please do work upon it, because it is your work that is going to make.
So the last line I didn't write, so could you please?
Sure, you can take what I can do, Mr. Shankar, I will share these with all of you, so you can have it alongside you. Okay, don't worry. If you miss out on anything, you will get the recording of the session, because we have time constraints, so I have to go through it. However, you will get the recording. You can see, watch, and write it down. Or you can also take the screenshot as well. Let's go to point number 3. Take the high road. My God, it is a phrase which means when we choose to do or say the right thing, even when it is difficult. Imagine you are in a situation and you do not like that situation. As for example, your friend talks negative about the manager, you like the manager, and you want to defend the manager, and you cannot be angry to your friend by saying, hey, how can you say about the manager? How can you say like this about the manager? Or how can you say like this about my son? Imagine if I say your son is very poor in studies. Guess what? You are going to get angry. And you are going to say, hey, how dare you say like that? You can use this phrase, take the high road, which means when we choose to do or say the right thing, even when it is difficult, even when it is difficult. You can say, for example, there is a friend of mine who comes to me and says negative things. And I say to, let's say Miss Anita is there and I'm taking one more person, Mr. Vittal. So Mr. Vittal comes to me and says a lot of negative things to provocate me so that I can be angry. And I maintain my calm, I maintain my nerves. I go to Miss Anita and I say, Mr. Vittal tried to start an argument with me, but I decided to take the high road and change the subject. Take the high road means I decided to calm down and change the subject. He tried to start an argument with me, but I decided to take the high road and change the subject. You know that the statement is going to make you angry. So what you do, you just change the topic. Take the high road. You can also say, for example, you come to me and with an angry pitch and you start abusing me. And how am I going to respond to that situation? I can say, I would prefer to take the high road to what you are proposing. I would prefer to take the high road means I'm not going to respond. I'm going to not feel bad, but I'm also not going to listen to your negative comments. I would prefer to take the high road to what you are proposing. Let's say your manager comes to you and says something bad to you. And it is quite common, especially during March ending. A lot of people are involved in closings. And if you make even a subtle mistake, your manager is going to blurt out. At that point of time, you can say, sir, I would prefer to take the high road to what you are proposing. Your manager is blurting out, speaking ruthlessly, but you can say, I would prefer to take the high road to what you are proposing. Imagine there is a friend of yours who got scolding from the manager. Let's say Miss Sushma and Miss Anita, both of them work in the same organization. Miss Anita gets the punishment from the CEO. She comes out with on an angry note, with an outrageous face. Her eyes are angry. Miss Anita comes to Miss Sushma and says, manager is really bad. My CEO is really bad today. I'm going to take the resignation. I'm going to file my resignation. To which, you know that the other person is going wrong side. Miss Sushma is going to say, you should take the high roads and avoid engaging with bullies. You should take the high roads, Anita. Do not feel bad. Maybe there is something good. Maybe the manager wants you to grow. Maybe the manager, maybe the CEO expects good things. So you should take the high road. Please do use that. You should take the high road. When you say like that, when Miss Sushma is going to say like this, Miss Anita is going to calm down, and at the same time, a big conflict can be stopped. Take the high road. In Hindi, we say, thoda bada socho yaar. That is how we say in Hindi. Bura mat mano, thoda bada socho yaar. You should take the high road and avoid engaging with bullies. Please do use that. I hope you are going to use it. If yes, please type I in the chat section. Let me see how many of you are going to use it. How many of you are going to use it? Okay. Only 2 people are going to use it. What about the other participants? Yes, Miss Trisha, I can see 8 people. 8 people and only 4 people are responding. What about others? Aren't you going to use it? Please do use it. Please do use it. It is really important. Thank you so much for your participation. Let's go to 4th phrase. And after that, there is a bonus session for all of you. So wait. The 4th phrase is get a rise out of. Get a rise out of. What is the meaning of get a rise out of? To provoke someone or to try to make them angry or reactive. Means when somebody comes to you and tries to provoke you, what you can say in that situation. Imagine Mr. Shankar comes to me and he says, guess what, Arindam, you are a negative person. You do not have any quality. You are worthless. You are not going to get a job. And I'm going to feel angry, right? Because he's trying to provoke me. How to deal with that situation? Let's see. You can say, if Mr. Shankar comes to me and says negative, how I am going to perceive it, I'm going to say to Mr. Shankar, I think you said that to get a rise out of me, but it didn't work. I think you said that to get a rise out of me. In Hindi, it means, I think आप मुझे भड़काने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, but ये काम नहीं कर रहा है. With a smile, I can say to Mr. Shankar with a smile that I think you said that to get a rise out of me, but it didn't work. And when I am going to say like that, guess what? What's going to happen? Mr. Shankar is going to feel ashamed. What should I do? What should I do now to provoke Arindam, isn't it? Or I can also say, if he was trying to get a rise out of me, he was wasting his time. Let's say again the same situation. This time, Miss Anita comes to me. Again, she's trying to provoke me. Though she doesn't provoke me, but it's just an example. She says that, Arindam, do you know? I don't think you can do anything in life. You do not have any ability. You are not special. And your mother and father did a terrible job giving you a birth. She's saying everything that I can be angry of. And instead of reacting to her, what I can say, I think you are trying to get rise out of me, but it's a waste of time. Imagine a friend, imagine someone from your family coming to you, starts speaking rubbish. Beep, 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 rubbish. And instead of reacting, you can say, I think you are trying to get a rise out of me, but you are wasting your time. Please work upon yourself. A phrase that you can truly use when someone is trying to provoke. These are all the 4 phrases, my dear friends, my dear students, that you can use to get a control of the session, to get a control of the rage, to get a control of the situation. These are just only 4 phrases. But wait, I have promised you a bonus. So how many of you are ready to get the bonus? Please type I in the chat section. How many of you would like me to proceed with the bonuses? I have just begun. By the way, the bonuses are really worthy. You can have them, you can use them. And if you decide to stay till the end, I will give you something. I will reward you by something. So let's see what bonus I have for you. So there are 3 communication hacks that you can use to handle unnecessary remark. When someone says negative, when someone speaks negative, when your manager doesn't understand you, when your family members don't understand you, when you are trying everything but your partner does not understand you, what to say? Of course, you are going to use those 4 phrases Now, there are three things. These are three hacks which you can use to take a control of any situation. And the first hack is practice calm. Practice calm. You have to be calm. What happens? And I'm also going to tell you how you can be calm. What happens when you get angry? When we get angry, our heartbeat increases. We sweat. We get angry and we sometimes come with a headache. In short, when we get angry on someone, it is we who are getting hurt. It is I who is going to get hurt. It is I who have to take the medicine for cooling and calming down my nerves. That means, what if I can use certain phrases to calm my nerves down? That will literally help me out to take a control of the situation. So let's see how to practice calm, how not to punish ourselves, because ultimately, if we are angry, we are doing nothing but punishing ourselves. So how to practice calm? You can say this. If someone is trying to make you angry, you can use this phrase. You can use this sentence. You can say, I am not going to respond to that comment with a comeback, but I'm going to take some time and space alone. Imagine, let me take one participant. Okay, let me take Miss Trisha. So Miss Trisha comes to me and says negative thing. Instead of reacting to her, what I'm going to say to her, I'm not going to respond to that comment with a comeback. I'm going to take some time and space alone. I need some time and space alone. You have not reacted. I have not reacted to Miss Trisha. I can also say that, why do you always talk garbage? Why do you always talk rubbish, Trisha? Why is it that you always talk to me like that? Instead of saying to her like this, I can say, I'm not going to respond to that comment with a comeback, but I'm going to take some time and space alone so that I can calm down my nerves. By that time, silence is the biggest tool to make others realize that they have made some mistake. By that time, even Ms. Trisha is also going to realize that she has spoken some unwanted sentences. So she's going to come, maybe she's going to come and say sorry. However, next time, if I go to Ms. Trisha, I would be in a good mental state to speak. This is the one hack. This is the one sentence which you can use and take a control of the situation. You can also say, this is the second sentence. I am feeling hurt or disappointed or upset. I'm feeling hurt because of what you just said, and I need some time to calm down. Imagine I have a girlfriend, though I do not have, but imagine, and it's a good thing to imagine. Imagine my girlfriend says something negative, and I do say, I'm feeling disappointed because of what you just said, and I need some time alone to calm down. I need some time alone to calm down. Guess what? The other person knows that I am hurt. And at the same time, instead of reacting to that situation, I said, I need some time alone to calm down. Don't you think these are going to save relationships? Don't you think it is going to save you from troubles? Some small changes in your conversation, my students, my beloved friends, but it is going to save relations. It is going to save you from going into argument with your manager, with people who you love, and you do not want to hurt them. You can also say, and you can read that out along with me, of course, by keeping yourself mute. You can say, again, the other person has said something negative, and you can say, maybe you are trying to get a rise out of. Remember, get a rise out of? We practiced get a rise out of when someone tries to make you feel angry. We discussed it before. So you can say, maybe you are trying to get a rise out of me. When you say beep, 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 say that negative comment. In place of dash, the negative comment. Imagine Miss Anita says some negative comment. So that negative comment I am going to put in that dash after say. So I can say, maybe you are trying to get a rise out of me when you say like this, but I prefer to take the high road and ask for some time alone. Take the high road that we also discussed. You can say, maybe you are trying to get a rise out of me when you say like this, but I prefer to take the high road and ask for some time alone. When you say like this, the other person realizes his or her mistake. And at the same time, it is you who is going to be a winner and not a loser. Maybe you can save yourself or that person from going into unnecessary verbal fights. A first trick, by doing these, what are you doing? You are practicing. We discussed it earlier. You are practicing calm. You are practicing calm. You're not getting nervous. You're not getting angry. You're practicing calm. And when you are calm, your heartbeat is slow. Your body is responsive and you feel good, not tensed. You can also say to practice calm. It seems or it sounds like you are feeling angry. So I'm going to take some space and wait for a better time to talk. Imagine there is a business associate of mine. I work upon the presentation day in, day out. On the date of presentation, my subordinate goes to the management and says that it is he who has done all the work and he takes in all the credit, leaving me completely out of the project. Instead of going angry, instead of becoming mad at that person, I can go straight away to him and say, it seems like you are annoyed. It seems like you are trying to sideline me. So I'm going to take some space and wait for a better time to talk. Because you are angry, you know that if you say something, maybe it is going to, it's not going to take the situation in control, but it can put you and it can also make your subordinate angry. So you can say it seems or it sounds like you are taking me aside or you are grumpy. So I'm going to take some time. I'm going to take some space and wait for a better time to talk. You can use this phrase as well. It can save and it can strengthen your relationship with your boss, with your friends. Now let's jump quickly through the remaining phrases. The second thing which you can practice, the first thing that we did is practice calm. The second thing you can do is by saying ouch. Ouch. When someone says negative to you, you can say ouch. I felt disrespected. I felt hurt. When you said like that, when you said like, then you can include the specific example, what the other person has said to make you feel bad. You can, it is really good to tell people that you are hurt. Unless you do not specify, the other person is not even going to realize that he hurt you. You can say, I felt disrespected. I felt upset. I felt mistreated. When you said like that, say to that person by introducing ouch, ouch. I felt mistreated when you said like that. Ouch. I know you were feeling annoyed, but did you need to say that? Because it made me feel angry. It made me feel upset. Imagine I have a friend and we had a verbal fight because of which now I am feeling literally bad. So instead of holding my grudges against my friend, I can go to my friend and say, I know you were feeling bad. I know you were feeling annoyed. But did you need to say like that? Because it made me feel sad. It made me feel upset. My friend has to realize that he has made some mistake. Of course, we have to make others realize. You can also say, maybe you are trying to be direct when you said beep, 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 beep means negative comment. Maybe you are trying to be direct when you said like that, but it actually made me feel disrespected. Maybe you were trying to be direct when you said like that, but it actually made me feel disrespected. You can say to the person who is close to you, who tries to hurt you unknowingly, you can say, maybe you were trying to be direct when you said like that, but it actually made me feel angry. You should say, it caught me off guard, remember? It caught me off guard when you said, beep, beep, negative comment. It caught me off guard when you said like that. And it made me feel disappointed. It made me feel hurt. It caught me off guard. I was not expecting that from you. Was it intentional? Or do you need my help? Are you upset? Please tell me. I know that you are a good person. It really caught me off guard when you said like that. I really felt bad, but I'm ready to help you out. When you say like that, you calm your nerves, you save the relation, and the other person starts respecting you. Third, we talked about practicing calm. We talked about ouch. Three sentences that we saw. And now we are going to see the third point, which is nothing but nope. When you are so angry and you want to say, when you are angry and you want to say that bas bahut hua in Hindi, some person is really like, some person has some issues and he or she always gets angry at you. Of course, you cannot practice calm all the time. So sometimes you have to say no. Imagine you are in a, I really do request people to be on mute. Please be on mute, my dear friends, to avoid any unnecessary interruption. Let me just, okay. Now let's go ahead. So you have to say nope, no to someone. When imagine there is a person who always gets angry at you, you have to say no sometimes, right? You cannot always practice calm. So you can say, imagine I have a partner, my life partner, and she always gets angry at me. I try to control the situation, but now I can say, I want to let you know that I won't put up with you anymore. And if you speak that way again, I will have to consider taking some action. Imagine my partner, my wife, my boss says every time I go, I try to control the situation, but everything has its own frequency. After that, you cannot wait anymore. You have to sometimes say no to someone. You can say, I want to let you know that I won't put up with BP negative comment, put up with the way you have talked to me anymore. And if you speak that way again, I will have to think. I will have to think parting our ways out. You can also say, I cannot stomach when people say disrespectful things like that to me. And if you talk like that around me again, I will have to think about changing my circle. Imagine I have a friend who uses a lot of abusive words. He always talks negative, and he always passes negative comments about people. And I do not like that nature. As there is a saying that you are sum total of 5 people you surround yourself with. You are tired. You have tried a lot to change your friend. However, your friend is always using abusive words. So you can say, I cannot stomach when people say disrespectful things like that. And if you talk like that around me again, I will have to part my ways. I will have to part my ways. P-A-R-T. Part means I will have to think of alternatives. Interesting. You can also say, I find it offensive when people talk about me. And moving forward, I won't engage in any more conversation about that. Imagine someone is saying negative thing about my parents. It happens. Our friends sometimes go out of boundary and they start saying negative things about our parents. You can say, I find it offensive when people talk about my parents like that. And moving forward, I won't engage in any more conversations about what happened today. You can say it. The other person should realize that he has made a mistake and that there is a limit to everything. You can definitely be rude, but to a limit, right? So, in short, in today's session, we discussed about the concept of communication, how communication is important. We understood that, of course, speaking in English is important, but communication is also important. So whatever tactics that I have showed to you today, it is the communication. It is a part of communication, not the entire communication. As it is part one, you are going to get more wits in upcoming sessions. We discussed about how to respond when someone is rude to you. We came across certain phrases that you can use to instantly control nerves, like a comeback. We talked about a comeback, caught off guard, take the high road, get a rise out of. Then at the end, we discussed 3 bonuses, 3 ways to keep an eye check on unnecessary remarks. And there we talked about practicing calm, ouch, and nope when things go out of control. So now it brings me to the end of the presentation, but before that, I would like to say something, as I promised, that I am going to give bonuses. The bonus is that this is a challenge that I'm giving to you right away. The challenge is, if you share your feedback, please do share your feedback on your respective WhatsApp group. And if you do share the feedback, in that feedback, you should mention what you liked. What are you going to implement out of today's session? And do you feel excited when you attend English Times workshop? Please do provide your feedback on WhatsApp. And if you do so, I will personally send the PDF of this presentation to you so that you can keep this presentation for a lifetime with you. You can refer back to it as and when required. That's the challenge that I'm giving to all of you. Please, right now, while we are at the end of the session, we are now going to enter inside the Q&A. I do challenge you to please provide the feedback in written context on your respective WhatsApp group. And if I receive the feedback, I'm going to share the PDF of this presentation to all the people who are going to participate. So that's a bonus, that's a gift that I'm about to give to you. So you just need to share the feedback and the presentation is yours. And now the session is open for feedback. If you have any comment, if you would like to discuss anything, right now it's the time. Let me unmute, yes. And thank you so much, everyone. Please, while we are in Q&A, discuss, share your feedback on WhatsApp so that you can claim this gift. You can have this presentation along with you forever. So do write, I'm waiting. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arindam. It's a great pleasure to you that many times we all have apprehensions towards our conversations. Sometimes we really do feel nervous whenever we stand in front of the higher authority. Specifically, whenever we go out, we meet with stranger, we really don't know how to communicate, or sometimes the client also get responded something different. At that time also we feel the same. So here we got a few informations by you where you said to us that how you can handle your problems or your communications if you really face the challenge. Thank you so much for a great evening where I really learned a lot, even though that all the students here, they also have learned a lot from you. So here I would request to my participants, if you have any questions or any doubts, you can directly ask to Mr. Arindam regarding this. And if you have anything to share about this workshop, you can also to share that as well. So now the Q&A section is open for everyone. Yeah.
Yes, and meanwhile you do ask questions. I do recommend you to share your feedback. It will hardly take you 30 seconds on your respective WhatsApp group, and I will share the PDF of the presentation. Do that. And if you have any question, you can unmute your audio and clarify the doubts. Else, if you do want to share something, what you liked, what you are going to implement.
If you have any kind of feedback, you can really share these things to us so that we get to know that what kind of feedback you have. So if you have anything, you can share with us. Anyone? Come on, guys. Show your talent.
Yes, you simply need to unmute your audio. Don't have fear. Just unmute it. And if you do want to...
So you are learning, you are our students, you are learning every single day the English. So you apply it, use it.
I think, Miss Anita, everyone is clear.
Everyone is clear, I guess. Great learning, okay, nothing I have doubt. All right, thank you so much to everyone. You all have participated today. And it's a great evening where you got to know a lot of ideas about this workshop. And I really do request to you, just keep on learning these things and keep applying in your conversations as well. Whenever you feel that, you can just apply it. So these are the things which can help you out whenever you go out, meet with stranger, no apprehensions, and it all whenever you speak with your boss or manager. So with this positive note, we have to stay here. We'll meet once again next week in the new concept of this communications, the series of this communications. Until the time, take care, be positive, keep learning, stay positive.